I think they sort of missed the ball not going to Colorado this week. They'll be there this coming weekend for the rivalry game, which we'll talk about. But yeah, it's interesting. They had a really cool opening to it. Reece Davis is really, really good at like making it into a big deal. But then of this drone shot of like a park that must be about 10% full. I suppose people, if you're from Alabama, like you just don't really care about game day anymore. It's there every second or third week, like so. Yeah, I mean, we've disappointing, but they're in the right place this week for sure in Boulder.
They are indeed. We'll talk about Boulder in a little second. Apart from if this becomes a Buffs podcast and Conall Diggin, his highlight is about the Buffs. But have you anything else to say, Conall, before you say anything about Prime?
I think actually what's really interesting about the whole game day thing is that I believe CBS or whatever one of the other ones are, they do the big noon kickoff, and they were supposed to be in Illinois this weekend,
Yeah.
but then they've changed to Colorado. So both like organizations,
They're both there this week, yeah.
yeah, which is, I wonder. I guess the whole thinking behind that is if your rivals are there, you may as well go there as well. I mean, we'll see who gets the bigger turnout. I'd say it's probably going to be ESPN College Game Day. Yeah, but some really big results this weekend, just all around. Like,
yeah, I was going to talk about the Buffs beating Nebraska and how good that defense was, but we'll talk about them going into it. I guess for people listening to this, I've actually had people WhatsApp me we need to talk about certain colleges. We'll have this discussion, boys, off camera. It'll be grand. We'll talk about it in week 4, 5, 6. Thanks for listening, folks. That can only be a good thing. Like obviously Texas star beating Alabama is big. It was a great week, and it's great to have it back again, and excited for week 3, man.
Yeah, and that was, I've said it a few times now, that was my big storyline at the start of the season, was this Alabama Texas game. I didn't think Texas would win it. I'm now 0-2 in our weekly predictions thing, which is just brilliant. But I think that was just a real shocker and a classic, college football. That's what college football's all about. That their game there. So looking forward to what should be a spicy mid-season now with teams like Texas who aren't exactly your traditional just blow out everyone every given week. Like Texas are susceptible to losing a couple of games, so it's interesting to see these very top teams look beatable.
Mandatory sponsorship segment. We are bringing Jeff Reinbold around Ireland, Dublin, Belfast, Derry, Cork, Limerick. 5 dates in January. Going to be mad crack. Will Conall Diggin make an appearance at the Cork or Limerick one is a big question. Will we make Dara Carter drive to Derry to stand up in a potential theatre and shout, "I'm a Derry girl"? Time will tell, but we'll see what happens. Home field apparel. Use code Ireland for 15% off your first purchase. I am literally looking at the Clemson t-shirts right now. I feel bad. I'm not usually this unprepared, boys, in terms of doing all that stuff, so bear with me. Maybe by like week 5 it'll be sent. However, yeah, come to Jeff. Jeff has a bit of crack. Let's jump into week 3. We're going to look at, not to be boring and to pick the same teams again, but I feel like you need to pick, you have to pick and have to talk about Colorado, who are now 2-0, and the fact that their defense came up well last week. And, against TCU in week 1, they didn't have any quarterback sacks or tackles for loss. In week 2, in Nebraska, against Nebraska, they had 6. They go up against CSU this week, the Rocky Mountain Classic, or whatever the hell they call it, in Colorado. I should know the answer to this on the basis that I'm a Broncos fan. But I tell you what, I know one thing. They hate each other. The Buffs call it, like, CU look at CSU as a lesser university, but like Queens and Jordanstown, actually. Like a wee bit like that there. But the funny thing is, like, I guess the expectation this week is for the Buffs home game, Folsom Field. I'm gonna double check that. I'm nearly certain isn't Folsom Field.
Yeah, it's a home game, yeah.
That game used to be played in Empire Field. I don't know, Conall will talk about this in a second, but you used to be played in Colorado in Denver, and they're now playing at the Folsom Field. So the atmosphere is going to be electric. Interested to see just can they bring it back on the offense a bit for the Buffs. For Colorado State University, they rank 90th in college football in total yards per game. So I am intrigued, Dara, to see how they put it up. But this could be one of those games where this is a young team. It's a team where a lot of new players are here. There's a lot of expectation. And yes, Coach Sanders keeps talking about the fact that nobody believes in them, but maybe CSU are sitting there this week going, nobody believes in us. Let's go out and wreck them. Let's go out and shock them. Very unlikely. You expect CSU. You would expect CU to go 3-0, but should be a decent game, and obviously it's going to be heavily televised as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. These teams are now getting a really unique chance to broadcast themselves on a national level because absolutely everybody's watching Colorado every single week. So there for Nebraska, that was a brilliant opportunity for them to earn back a little bit of respect that they've lost over the last couple of years. And well, they failed miserably, but it's a similar opportunity for Colorado State now this week. This is a game where I think we'd all be very disappointed if Colorado lost. Like going into this whole massive hype surrounding they're going to play Oregon in 2 weeks, it would just be that's setting up to be an absolute classic, and that'll be the biggest game that week. And it would just be really, really disappointing for them to slip now. They probably shouldn't fall a hurdle as lowly as Colorado State, but like you keep going back to saying it's a program that went 1-11 last year, and I know that they don't have the same players in place, but any given Saturday, as it's been dubbed by Josh Pate of 24/7, and it's his tour for this season. I mean, it should be Colorado's game. This should just be them driving the point home that they're here as a legitimate contender, and anything less than that, we'd be disappointed.
Conall, who in the hell thought it was a good idea to put a game on at 3 o'clock on a Sunday morning? That's all I have to say about this game.
And like they're doing this to like the most exciting team in like the country. I understand like over in America this is like, prime time type stuff, but hey, like it's a worldwide sport. Like we're trying to prove that, like, and they're cutting us off.
Like there's prime time, right? And like Sunday night football starts at 1:20 a.m. in the NFL. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like this should be a good matchup. The like Colorado State, they've only played one game so far this season. They had their bye week last week, and they played a Washington State team who actually just beat Wisconsin. So now they're ranked instead of Wisconsin, that was a pretty big upset that happened this week. And it should be fairly straightforward for the Buffaloes, to be honest. I mean, they have basically everything to beaten pretty much nearly anyone. And if they don't win this game, like as Daire said, it would be a massive slip up and be a shame for them to slip up now. I did also just want to put in that if people are getting sick of us talking about the Buffaloes, you'll have to wait probably another 2 or 3 weeks because they play Oregon and then they play USC. So I don't see them falling out of the running order in the next 2 weeks.
Well, as we said previously, like obviously appreciate people listening, and like the thing is, this is charting. And we've only one episode a week, so this is awesome. Like, genuinely, folks, thank you all so much. Really cool. Like this is the highlight in my career.